also come to Daktari Ojwang to hear about this, the kind of evidence that we are talking about here. Because they did not give specific numbers. Of course, the numbers that they gave were disputed when it comes to calculus and mathematics 101. But they did not say that, you see, the number they gave is 7.1 for DP Ruto and 6.9. We found it was 7.3 and 6.8. That did not happen.
Sure.
All they said was that we did not have access to the back end. A back end of which nobody described what it was like. So going forward, how should these commissioners behave simply so that Kenyans are not left in a limbo where they don't know who to believe, who to trust, and who not to trust?
Trevor, you're asking me a very, very difficult question because when these commissioners were actually, when they had just been sworn in, I was one of the few Kenyans who were invited by the special committee that was put in place to help them understand the issues that Kenyans have with the elections. And this was happening close by here at Serena. And I remember, as a member of the civil society, I asked them, would there be circumstances within which this committee would condone resignations of commissioners without proper explanation to Kenyans? And I remember the chair of that committee indicated that our terms of references are very clear. These individuals are going to be sworn in and they undertake an oath. Now I left the room asking myself, so what is this oath? When individuals are given spaces in the commission and they can easily walk away. You go to New York and you tell us on Twitter that I have left and bye-bye. What is the responsibility of a commissioner vis-a-vis the services that Kenyans expect you to deliver to them? So in response to that, I see a number of things. One, despite the issues around the numbers, because that is really dependent on the polling station tallies. That is how tight the IEBC tried to make this election. That if you get it right at the polling station, you will automatically get it right with the forms and ultimately at the National Tallying Center. Unless there is going to be interference at the polling station, and that means you have to compromise almost everybody, including the agents, the observers, the media. It was quite a watertight, and we were observers, and I've kept showing people this report because it shows a step-by-step mechanism of the kind of checklist that as an organization we had looking at the manner in which IEBC was undertaking itself. So the first thing is for them to be able to prove that in a few areas, including the 20 constituencies that they are saying, as at the time the results were being mentioned, the tallies had not been done. The battle to fight is actually on their doorsteps. So the aspects around the numbers and their individual responsibility vis-a-vis being commissioners, read side by side, juxtaposed by the oath of office which they swore. Number two, Trevor, how do we hold people accountable? The 22.1 million Kenyans who had trust in IEBC, when commissioners walk out of their responsibility, are there mechanisms through which Kenyans can be able to actually hold them to account? Because that is one of the things I am looking forward to listening to the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance petition, if they actually lodge it at the Supreme Court and the process goes in until the end of it. Is there an opportunity for a voter to be enjoined to ask a question around how am I supposed to ask a commissioner who messes up an election to repay taxpayers' monies? Are there recall and recourse concerns around the degree of expenses that we incur? Number three, when you apply to be a commissioner, and as Wanjiru said, I think this should be one of the, working as a commissioner in the IEBC should be termed as one of the 1,000 reasons, ways to die in Kenya, because as a public servant or a state officer, you really walk in between, thin lines of beyond your roles and responsibilities, but also the expectations of Kenyans. But what does that mean when you lay your life, the lives of your family members, to be able to come forward and engage as an IEBC commissioner? Where is your individual responsibility as a Kenyan to the Kenyan people. And number two, your individual responsibility as a commissioner that is supposed to adjudicate and implement certain responsibilities. So even as we look forward to the case and how it's going to be adjudicated, it will be difficult, Trevor, to look at the value add for these commissioners against the kind of processes that we have set in the past. I don't think that we have set a very good record in terms of holding commissioners accountable. Because even as we talk about the death of Musando, and today we are talking about Mr. Musyoka, the question is, who killed Musando? Now, this is a criminal issue, yeah, because this is murder. What is the involvement of all the other state agents, including DCI in the investigations, the prosecutions, and the communication elements? Because I don't think IEBC has also come out very well in terms of its public engagement, public communication. Beyond the press statement, what are the family members of these officers who work at the commission? I remember the commission is both the commission and the secretariat, with hundreds of thousands of people working for them. How do they feel to the extent that now 2 counties are not going to vote? The election, the by-election has been called off indefinitely because the lives of staff are under a threat. So it's going to be a difficult one, Trevor. That's why I said it's a difficult question. Yeah. But I'm hoping that all the processes that are going to be coming forth are going to help us unravel and deal with a number of these questions.